Hey guys, Maven here. Now recently, CM Punk was wrestling Jey Uso on Saturday night's main event. During the match, Punk appeared to get frustrated, would break character, and deliberately hurt his opponent. I'm a former WWE wrestler, so we're gonna watch the match, see what actually happened, and I'm gonna tell you who was in the right and who was in the wrong. A lot's been made about Jey Uso being blown up or exhausted during this match because of his entrance and because of just how physical and how demanding his entrance is. But I don't think so. And the reason being is, since Jey Uso's entrance ended, it's been over 5 minutes with Punk's entrance. So however tired he got from walking down a couple flights of steps and doing the yeet, he should be over that. You know when someone's exhausted, you know when someone's blown up, because you can actually see them taking in air. I've been there. I know what it feels like. I know how demanding this can be on the body. He's not blown up. He's not taking in air. He's not showing any signs of exhaustion at this point.
Man, Uso looking to back Punk into the corner. Really a feeling out process here early on.
We're several minutes into this match and they're still in a feeling out process. They should be beyond this at this point. Right now, for this main event, they've asked a lot out of the fans, and this is the time that the fans want to see action. They don't want to see continuous lockups and pushing back into the ropes. They don't want to see the feeling out process. They want to see you on your giddy up. Maybe that's why Punk gets upset.
Punk there trying, I think, for a neck breaker. I think over-rotating was Jey Uso.
Now he got it, though.
Okay, we found where Punk gets frustrated. And Punk broke a rule I've talked about on this channel. And we'll get to that in a second. CM Punk picks Jey Uso up, and as he picks Jey up, he's covering his mouth and calling a spinning neck breaker. For whatever reason, Jey over-rotates and the move looks like shit. Now, this obviously pisses Punk off. I know he called the spot. I watched him call the spot. And Punk, in return, decides to give Jey a pretty stiff kick to the back of the head. Maybe a, hey, wake up. Now, Punk going back to the move, that's a wrestling no-no, and here's why. The moment you botch a move, the moment you F something up and go directly back to it, what you're telling the fans is, hey, we effed up, we messed up. If they go and Jey over-rotates, it looks bad, you kick him in the back of the head, well, guess what? You're in a fight. It happens. You ever seen a fist fight? You ever seen a real fight? They do not look like they look in the movies. Things happen that just don't look good. Punk should have came up, oh, we messed a spot up, giving him the kick in the back of the head, then mount him and start delivering punches. And as he's raining punches down, tell him, wake the hell up. Then you get up and go back to the spot you're going to. Now, was Punk in the wrong for kicking Jey in the head right there? Well, I'll give you my opinion later. Let's watch more and see if it escalates any further.
Very vocal cousin, the tribal chief Roman Reigns, who's talked a big game with Jey recently, and now Uso with a Samoan drop.
Now, I know Jey Uso's received a lot of heat online about just being exhausted, moving sluggish at a snail's pace, but I gotta be perfectly honest with you, I don't think CM Punk's carrying his weight either. When he should be the aggressor, when he should be laying stuff in, he's just standing there or he's just on one knee. I'll be perfectly honest with you, both guys are under-delivering. But you know who never under-delivers? This video sponsor, Factor. Given my busy schedule, cooking is the last thing I want to deal with. That's why I have continued to use Factor. They deliver straight to my door, and in 2 minutes, I've got fresh, never frozen meals that actually keep me on track. Their menu has expanded to over 80 rotating options, featuring even more global flavors, such as new Asian and Mediterranean. So I'm never bored. Factor also makes eating clean simple with options supporting GLP-1 goals, gluten-free choices, and no low-quality seed oils. Head to factor75.com or click the link below and use code MAVENFB50 to get 50% off your first Factor box plus free breakfast for 1 year. That's code MAVENFB50 at factor75.com to get 50% off plus free breakfast for 1 year. Offer only valid with new Factor customers with code and qualifying auto-renew subscription purchase.
Jey Uso going for the spear, and Punk able to wrestle him down, and another neck breaker to Uso.
Both guys to me just seem a little bit off. I don't know their history of being in the ring together. Sometimes you can have two great wrestlers. You can have a main event Jey Uso. You can have a living legend CM Punk. And when you combine the two, you get dog shit. Sometimes it just doesn't work. Sometimes the chemistry is just not there. To me, it looks like their chemistry just isn't good. I don't know how many times they're going to go for a neck breaker in this match, but I hope that's the last one these eyes have to see. And that spear that Jey went to throw, it had nothing behind it. There was no trying to make you believe. There was absolutely no aggression on it.
In the early going, just ride out the storm and wait for your moment, because it will come.
I got my ass chewed one time after a match, and it was because someone had a rest hold on me, and that's what CM Punk has on Jey Uso. He has a rest hold on him, and I was doing exactly what Jey was doing. The guy was wrenching my neck back, and I had my hand out like that. Dean Malenko pulled me aside and said, "So if someone's literally pulling your neck back by your face, is your reaction going to be to have your hand out? No, your reaction is going to be trying to claw, trying anything you can to get that, to relieve that pressure, to get their hands off your face."
That's the issue that we talked about a little earlier with coming down the other side of the mountain after losing gold. That's when you really start overthinking.
And here's another thing that tells me that these guys maybe just haven't worked a lot together. They're calling a lot of spots, and it's one thing if you call a quick spot, but they're taking the time to call elaborate spots, and that just tells me that maybe they haven't spent as much time wrestling one another in the past, because they just don't know each other's arsenal. They don't know each other's moveset.
Fell all the way out.
And now CM Punk throwing water all over Jey, trying to wake him out as he...
CM Punk goes out of the ring and deliberately gets a half full bottle of water and sprays it on Jey Uso. I think they're off script. I think they had no plans of the water bottle being in this match. I think Punk is frustrated to a level to where he's doing anything to just get Jey, hey, come on, let's go. And what tells me this is off script is the fact that Punk had to go over and ask for a water bottle. If this was planned out in the match beforehand, they would have had several bottles of water at arm's length, easy to grab at any time, or whenever they get to this spot.
Well, Jey Uso simply looks like a carcass at this point, and Punk is now dominating at will.
A snap suplex is something that shouldn't require that much effort. Jey Uso just took Punk's finishing maneuver, the GTS, so I get it. I understand if Jey's playing dead. I understand if he's out on his feet. But the moment someone goes for a move, Reaction should take over. You should be helping them. You should be bouncing with them to give them that extra boost so they don't have to exert this much energy. Just listen.
Punk is now dominating at will.
You felt that
You hear Punk straining to get him over. This could be what leads Punk's frustration to continuously increase.
And there seems to be no fight, no gas left in the tank at Jey Uso, and that's a bad place to be.
Jey is literally dying, and that is a no-no. That's babyface psychology no-no 101, day one, week one install as a babyface. Never die. Never die. The fact that Wade Barrett is covering for him and having to bring it up during the match, yeah, that's probably not where Wade thought in his pre-production meeting that day he was going to have to go. That's great on him, thinking on the fly.
Yeet or retreat moment, and the Yeets are taking over in Salt Lake City.
I've just heard him say that they're in Salt Lake City. Salt Lake City is another city that is at elevation. That is high up. That it's tough to breathe in. And maybe this is part of the reason that their energy level just isn't where it normally is. I've wrestled at elevation. I thought it was nothing going into it. It's tough. It really is. It's tough. Not making excuses, just offering a reason for you, the fans.
Punk with another GTS collapses into the cover. CM Punk!
Now that the match is over, was CM Punk in the wrong for kicking Jey Uso in the head, for the unscripted grabbing of the water bottle and the demeaning pouring of the water over him? You might disagree with my take on this, and that's perfectly fine. I understand. You disagree with a lot of things I say, but I don't think he was. CM Punk's not the guy that comes to your office and fixes your router. They do a job that requires physicality. And when someone's not bringing a level of physicality, it makes you look bad. But Punk would be wrong to think that Jey Uso was the only one not carrying his weight during this match. There was plenty of times earlier on when Punk was not aggressive, when Punk was not on his giddy up, when Punk was not bringing the normal level that Punk brings. Now, I think Punk was well within his rights to react the way he did, but that doesn't mean that I think Jey Uso was in the wrong, not even in the slightest. Sometimes fatigue gets the better of us, and fatigue makes cowards of us all occasionally. I dare you, go out to an area that's at elevation, run, and then try to do something physical. Get your heart rate up, and you'll see just how difficult it was. Once it was time to shine, both competitors turned it up and got a reaction out of the crowd, and that's what this business is all about. There's been speculation that Punk was frustrated with Jey Uso during this match, and maybe he was during the match, but not at the end. And I can actually prove it. Going into the final GTS, see if you notice something after the 1, 2, 3.
CM Punk is the World Heavyweight Champion!
Here is your winner!
After Punk gets the 1, 2, 3 and becomes World Heavyweight Champion, he rolls back over towards Jey Uso. And what's he doing there? He's thanking him. And this is actually customary in our world, in the world of professional wrestling, to thank your opponent. But if Punk was frustrated, if he was mad at the match that Jey Uso gave him, he would wait till he was in the back to thank him. He would not go out of his way to thank him before he celebrated his victory. That act alone tells me that in the beginning of the match, whatever was frustrating Punk, at this point, he was over. But thanking your opponent, that's just one of the many unwritten rules in the WWE. To find out what the others are, watch the video on screen.